Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
So it's been called the slap that was heard around the world. I'm sure by now everybody's seen the incident from the Oscars last night where Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, who, to be fair, took it like an absolute champ. I mean, looking at the video, there's no way that was staged. It just, and especially from the reaction that Will Smith gave afterwards, where there was deep-seated anger in his voice when he was referring to Chris Rock. But yeah, shit got completely out of hand last night. I just want to talk about the fact that this has divided people quite severely on whether Will Smith was right, Chris Rock was right, and just get a sense of what everyone's feeling, because from one perspective I can understand how Will Smith is feeling in terms of the fact that his wife was insulted quite bitterly, really. I know Chris Rock's saying that it was a joke, but some jokes are in poor taste, and straight to the woman's face, who, let's face it, she looked distraught when she clearly wasn't happy about the joke, and I get what people are saying about the fact that Will Smith just started to laugh at the joke and then turned to his wife and realised that she wasn't into it whatsoever, and then got angry, and I can understand that reaction, because it's kind of dawned on him after that his wife was so upset by it all. And I think, obviously, as him being protective of his nearest and dearest, he's then the anger's reared up inside him, shall we say, and he's made what is probably a poor choice in the grand scheme of things, though in the heat of the moment and probably with a few drinks down him, you can understand why. I mean, where I come from, in a small town in Lancashire in the UK, that kind of stuff, a lot worse happens for a lot less. Let's just put it that way. So, unless you've been living under a rock, what happened basically was Chris Rock had done a joke about G.I. Jane aimed at Jada Pinkett Smith. He'd kind of said, Jada, I love you, but I can't wait for the G.I. Jane 2 to come out. Now, for those who are not aware, that Jada Pinkett Smith has been suffering from alopecia for quite some time, and she's been quite an outspoken person about it, sharing her story and giving a lot of sense of purpose to people who have got the same condition. She's done quite a lot of work for it. I have a very dear friend who served in the military with me. His daughter suffers from the condition, and she'd made a comment today that said that Jada had actually, done some really good work in terms of making her feel like it was normalised, and that she shouldn't be ashamed of it, and that she could get out there into the world without fear of people pointing and making fun if that she's going through something like that. One of the most beautiful women in the world, most talented actor, etc, etc. So, she had done quite a lot of good work in that field in terms of bringing the condition to light, which is, I guess, one of the things that high-profile celebrities could do. So Chris Rock had made that joke, aiming the joke, i.e. G.I. Jane 2, the fact that she was, her hair was shaven, at Jada Pinkett Smith. And as I say, initially Will Smith sort of laughed, because a joke had preceded that one aimed at Will Smith, and I think he was still caught in mid-laugh, and then he kind of glanced at Jada, and she did look quite devastated about it, so but I mean, if you're going to choose a moment to get up and slap somebody in front of millions of people around the world, you couldn't have chosen a worse venue for that to happen. I mean, the Oscars, man. In fact, a friend of mine said today that the Oscars had been complaining that their event had not been as well received, within audiences or online as it has in previous years, and they were wondering what they could do to spice it up, which I think is why a lot of people are speculating that this has been a setup, that this has been some kind of stunt or a bit to draw in a lot of views and clicks towards the Oscars. But I don't know. I think, this is no Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler situation here. This is clearly something that got out of hand. My personal opinion, I think Chris probably got it wrong here. I think he probably misread the situation. From what I understand, that joke hadn't been pre-vetted by the Oscars committee, and I think he misread the sort of reception that it may get. I think he probably realised that once he saw Jada's face. I think he might have got into this thinking she'd probably laugh. Maybe this has been a bit of a, well, if Ricky Gervais can get away with these kind of things, maybe I can. But yeah, I think he misread the situation here. But At first, when I watched it, I thought Will's reaction was, well, yeah, I mean, I'd do the same. If somebody said that about my wife or my kids or something, I'd probably go up and knock the fucker out myself. But the longer it's gone on, the poorer it looks. And obviously the debate's going to centre around Jada's reaction. Now, I've seen a few comments or videos where it suggests that, did Will ask her permission before getting up there and sort of defending her honour? I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, it's the guy's wife, it's his nearest and dearest, and he's clearly upset by it. But yeah, I do feel that it was a poor decision to make. He looks deranged, to be honest, especially when he sits down and he starts screaming and shouting at him and, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth and all this, and he just looks deranged. He literally looks like somebody who's ready to kick off in a small pub in Burnley where I live, and we don't enjoy a very good particular reputation for that kind of thing throughout the UK, so it just looked a bit deranged. But I mean, it begs the bigger question of what kind of jokes are acceptable, I guess. I mean, I have laughed, and I do watch some really sketchy stuff, some from really sketchy comedians. And yeah, you laugh at the joke and you think, maybe that was a little bit below the belt. But in the long run, a joke's a joke. But I think it's one thing to be telling a joke about a situation, about a certain set of events, but to make it that personal, right there to her face. I mean, again, Ricky Gervais has done worse. He's done much worse at his events, and a lot of celebrities have sat there, and you can see that they've not been digging it, but they haven't got up and caused a ruckus. And I have seen other reports that saying that our stars should be setting better examples for our kids. I mean, these are movie stars, and and that I don't know. They're not sporting heroes, I guess. I mean, a lot of these people are drug takers and have alcohol problems. I mean, they're saying about setting better examples. I mean, they should start maybe a lot further down the line than they would do at maybe the Oscars event, and not slapping someone. But violence is never the answer. Many of us have been in fights before, we've lost our temper, but violence is not the answer. He could have, as one of my friends put, used these big boy words. But again, I do understand the heat of the moment kind of thing, and I do understand it really getting to the core of it once he saw his wife was so upset, and she did look upset. I have to admit that she looked quite gutted by the whole thing. So I do get that perspective, but my God, I mean, some of the takeaways from this is, one, Chris Rock can take a slap. I mean, Will Smith's no small lad. I mean, he's a big lad. He's got some heft on him. But and it looked like he gave him. It wasn't a love tap. He put some force into it, and Chris Rock just took it like a champ. And you could say that his professionalism shone through. I mean, after that, he was kind of smiling and going, "Well, yeah, that just happened." He didn't get angry, didn't retaliate, didn't run off. I mean, yeah. I mean, from one perspective, you can say Chris Rock handled it well, even if he did generate the situation. But yeah, he did take it like a champ. And again, the veracity of how that slap went in, I am fairly convinced that has not been a bit, that has not been set up. It really hasn't. And when you see Will's reaction afterwards as he's telling Chris what he shouldn't be doing, you can see in his eyes that anger, that aggression. And again, he did just win. He did just win the Best Actor award. So who knows? Maybe it was a bit, and maybe it was perfectly acted, shall we say? Though I guess, I don't know, the language. I've seen people complaining about the language as well. That side doesn't bother me really, but just the whole debate on whether he should or shouldn't have done it, that's going to be active for quite some time, and that is going to spawn some serious back and forth on Twitter. There's going to be some falling out today, and well, for the rest of the week, I would imagine, on that. But Christ almighty, what a way to get people talking about the Oscars again. Again, if it's not been a bit, then yeah, they've done a really good job of bringing themselves into the forefront. I don't know. What's your opinion on it? What's your take on it? Was Will in the right? Was Chris in the wrong? Was Chris hard done by? Should it have been live and let live? Was the joke not harsh? I don't know. For me, my personal view is, I think the joke was a little bit out of order. I think he should have maybe had some more foresight into not doing that. But in the grand scheme of things, I think we can probably all agree that Will Smith should have been a little bit more professional, and yeah, he could have shouted out, you know, that's not cool, or even left it till afterwards, or even, you know, vocalized his displeasure by just getting up and walking away for a little bit and then coming back when it was his turn to receive his Oscar. I don't know. It could have shown his displeasure at this in all manner of ways without resorting to violence. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and just get the conversation going about it, because whew, that's going to be talked about for some time. It really is.